Ryan Jarrell here for All Access MMA, and you can see my next guest fight this Saturday for XMMA when he meets Tyler Ray, and of course it is Austin Osmosis Jones. Austin, how are you?
Good, man. Good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy week here, this fight week, to join me. And the fight is this Saturday, so let's talk about that week. How has it been thus far? How much left?
I got about 10 to go, so it's been pretty smooth. I'm still hydrated, just making sure the weight cut's as smooth as possible, keeping the blood flow. I'm actually just enjoying the beach a little bit right now until I buckle down. But super excited for this fight. It's just, I haven't fought in a year and a half, but I've been preparing for this moment. I just kept telling myself, my opponent's out there somewhere, so don't stress on it. Just keep training, and you just never know who your next opponent will be. So train for everything, you'll be ready.
How has this last year and a half been? I mean, with COVID, everyone's been affected to some degree. What has it been like for you?
I mean, I stay busy at the gym. I run the memberships. I coach there as well. And obviously I train for fights, but it's been more busy than ever. So that's definitely been a blessing. And honestly, I've been having the time of my life. I know a lot of people, they've lost their jobs and they don't really have a gym to go to if they're, martial arts, we've kind of lucked out with that, but we've also added a lot of members to our gym because of that. People kind of found something else in these times. So I think that's the key. You never know, when times are hard, you might find something new to take on. So that's kind of cool seeing some new white belts at the gym as well.
For sure. Now, You obviously train at one of the best gyms in the world, Factory X. How long have you been there now?
I've been there about 6 years now. About 6 years.
And your background in MMA, tell me a little bit about that. Like, did you play other sports, or did you know when you were a young guy that you always wanted to gravitate towards mixed martial arts?
Yeah, I see that Tom Brady jersey back there. I used to play football at Nebraska, and I know Rex Burkhead plays for New England now. But that's kind of crazy. I didn't really know anything about MMA until college. There's this one little bar, this little dive bar in Nebraska, and I saw some UFC fights on. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. And then, I was like, if NFL doesn't work out, I want to try this shit out. And I went and actually bought a punching bag from like Dick's Sporting Goods and hung it up in the basement with my roommates. And I was in the basement, they're all upstairs, like, what the fuck is that noise? And they came down, and they saw me hitting the bag, and just kind of fell in love with it starting out. But also wrestled 2 years in high school and found out some wrestlers were doing this, and that's what kind of got me intrigued.
For sure. Wrestling to me is the most important discipline in MMA. So I'm sure that was a pretty natural transition for you. But before we keep going on MMA, tell me, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? You got the Bucks, or you think the Chiefs are going to get it done?
But I can't count Brady out. I'm gonna have to go with the Bucks. But just the fact that they turned that whole team around in a year, they're just running with that momentum. So and Brady in the Super Bowl, we already know how that goes. So
I was watching some videos on you preparing for this interview, and on the Factory X YouTube page, they did this Why I Fight series, and you did this self-talk video, and you talked a little bit about the mental side of the game. How important do you feel that is just to you as a fighter and your progression as an athlete?
I think it's huge because I've been in athletics since I was 9 years old, just down to putting the time in and the work ethic. And
obviously, training at Factory X, Colorado, the altitude, how do you feel like that's benefited your cardio and your MMA game? Because it seems like a lot of mixed martial artists nowadays are going to Colorado just for that cardio benefit.
Yeah, it definitely has its benefits. Like down here, I can breathe like a champ. It's it's a lot easier to breathe. But honestly, when the fight happens, I don't really think about it too much because there's not enough time to. But in the back of my head, I know it's better training. You get, your cardio goes up, but it's also just, like I said, it goes back to the mindset because there's places, we have 4 guys actually fighting on Wyoming, and they're actually higher up in altitude. So I guarantee they don't think about it too much when they go up there. But just if you ever come visit Factory X, you'll see our practices. I'm like, they're pretty intense. So whether we were down here, if Factory X is down here or up in the mountains, I think the cardio would be on point regardless. So
who have been some of your main training partners for this camp specifically?
Quite honestly, a couple UFC guys. Dustin Jacoby, Cody Brundage. He's an up. He's also looking to fight here soon. And then a bunch of other guys like Devontae Smith and tons of guys. But yeah, all over the board, up and comers, even some of our amateurs are giving me good rounds. So.
Oh, that's good to hear. Obviously, there's so many great partners up there at Factory X. As far as this specific card goes at XMMA, it's headlined by James Vick, who was just released from the UFC. I mean, you got Kyle Bochniak, Chris Curtis on the card. I mean, there's a lot of big names. How big of a platform do you believe this fight is going to be for yourself?
It's pretty big. Like, I try not to focus too hard on the stage. There's a mat and a ref and the other guys. So, but great exposure. I'm super excited about it. The promotion's been awesome. I just can't wait to go out there and showcase it,
Yeah, absolutely. Are they going to be allowing a certain amount of fans in the venue?
Yeah, no fans this time, but that's going to be the cool experience too. Which is crazy because, like, you would feel like a sparring session, but since at our gym, we spar a little differently. Like, everyone's inside, so around that silence, but it also makes it easier to listen to my corner and everything.
So your opponent Tyler Ray, he's 6-2. How do you like this matchup? What do you think is going to go down?
It's a great matchup. To be honest, I like any matchup because I train everything. But definitely not taking any credit away from him. He's been in some good fights and he's a tough dude. So I'm just doing my best to take him serious and fight smart and go out there and put my best foot forward because I know he's going to too. So I think it's a fight that might steal the night. So we'll go ahead and see,
Do you believe that you're going to get your hand raised via submission or knockout? Like, how do you see yourself, or how do you see your path to victory here?
I just see myself getting my hand raised. You could do your best to predict the future, but the most important thing is living in the moment. So I'm just going to take what he gives me and go ahead and get my hand raised. That's all I've been thinking about. So dreaming about.
What is next for you? What are you hoping to accomplish here in 2021 as a fighter?
Well, my goal is to win, 15 fights in a row. So I don't really care what's next. All I care about is putting together my goals and my streak. I know all the great opportunities going to come along with that. So, like I said, I'm just doing my best, living the moment, because I think that's a big challenge for fighters too. Is we're so focused on the big show, and you even see that in football and the NFL, and you kind of getting this point where you're not taking in the moment, and then you're like, did I even have fun doing this? And that's what I'm trying to get away from. So I'm just going in there, just enjoying myself, because you never know when your last fight is. So whether you want to or not, you never know. So that's the big thing for me.
Awesome. Well, I love the attitude. Again, Austin Jones, you can see him fight next when he meets Tyler Ray this Saturday for XMMA. Before I let you go, Austin, anyone you want to thank or any social media you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Oh man, I got a whole list, but first and foremost, I want to thank George Tony. He's out here cornering with me. We're just enjoying the water right now. Thank my family. Thank Coach Mark Montoya for making this possible. Jason House, my manager. Scott Miller, wrestling coach. G Money, he knows what I'm talking about. Who else? Mario Correa, Professor Busy, and who else? I don't want to forget anybody. All my teammates that have been with me since day one. All my training partners, super excited. Be on the lookout for some of these up and comers. Just go to our Factor X page, and you'll see all these guys, super talented individuals, and I'm super proud of them.